He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This one's wife. Did she glue a girl's eyes shut? Well, she is a narcissist. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As part of an ongoing series, I'm going to be looking at many of the allegations that have been placed at the door of this one's wife. Many of them proving controversial, many of them engendering support, and also causing many people to want the truth to be unearthed to determine whether the rumours and the allegations are accurate. The fact that this one's wife is a narcissist lends greater credence to the rumours as a consequence of the various characteristics that make up her behaviours and the overwhelming need to pursue the prime aims. Whilst all behaviours could be conducted by a normal, an empath, a narcissistic person, or a narcissist, the ones whereby the behaviours are at the extreme end are more likely to be occasioned by the narcissist as a consequence of the lack of restraint, the lack of accountability, the sense of entitlement, and the absence of emotional empathy, combined with manipulative behaviours. Here, we look at the origins of the allegation that this one's wife glued a fellow student's eyes shut as part of a hazing incident, and then consider the evidence either side, allowing you to make a determination as to what you think actually happened. The claim that this one's wife glued a fellow student's eyes closed as part of a hazing incident during her college years has circulated widely online, particularly amongst her critics. The allegation typically describes an event at Northwestern University, which this one's wife attended from 1999 to 2003. According to the rumour, while a member of the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority, this one's wife allegedly participated in a hazing ritual where she used superglue instead of eyelash glue to seal the eyelids of one or two first-year pledges, sorority recruits, closed. Variations of the story suggest this caused temporary or permanent damage, including blindness in one eye for at least one victim, leading to this one's wife's expulsion from the sorority, a cover-up funded by her father, Thomas Markle, and non-disclosure agreements to silence those involved. The narrative paints this one's wife as a mean girl, or a bully, aligning with broader criticisms of her personality, and, of course, in keeping with her narcissistic behaviours. And that this aspect of her personality certainly emerged after her marriage to Prince Harry in 2018 and their royal departure in 2020. It first gained traction around late 2020 amid heightened scrutiny of this one's wife's life, ahead of the Oprah Winfrey interview. The story has been amplified on platforms like YouTube, Reddit, Quora, Instagram, and X. The allegations' origins are somewhat murky, fitting the pattern of internet rumours about public figures. No contemporary reports from this one's wife's college years exist in mainstream media or university records. Instead, the story appears to have emerged retrospectively. Early mentions trace back to anonymous Tumblr posts around about December 2020. For instance, an Instagram account at Markle New referenced a Tumblr tip-off. Thanks to the follower who found this on Tumblr, I had heard rumblings of a sorority hazing incident a while back, but never heard the real story. Yikes. The post described this one's wife using superglue on Pledge's eyelids, leading to hospitalisation and a payoff by Thomas Markle to avoid scandal. By late 2020, the rumour migrated to YouTube. Channels had videos such as this one's wife's shocking sorority haze uncovered, which was uploaded on December the 6th, 2020, which claimed that this one's wife took part in an unspeakable hazing incident using superglue on two pledges. Another, from 2023, referenced the hazing incident, reiterating the details, alleging permanent trauma. Quora became a key amplifier in 2021 to 2023. Questions like, was this one's wife kicked out of a sorority, elicited answers repeating the glue story, sometimes linking it to her alleged expulsion. One user claimed it stemmed from rumblings, but provided no proof. On Reddit, various threads discussed superglued eyelashes, WTF, and the post featured an image, likely a meme or screenshot, and comments debating its veracity, with some tracing it back to Quora. Users speculated on payoffs and NDAs, but others expressed doubt. On X, searches from posts from 2022 to 2025 repeat the claim. For example, one commenter wrote, "You remember the story about this one's wife gluing a student's eyes shut at Northwestern? She was kicked out, and her dad paid a large sum of money." Another wrote, "She was tossed out for gluing two girls' eyes shut with superglue. The case sealed. One lost vision." These posts often use the hashtag Meghan Markle exposed, amplifying reach. The rumours spread and coincided with books such as Tom Bauer's Revenge, This One's Wife, Harrying the War Between the Windsors from 2022, which critiqued This One's Wife but made no mention of the hazing claim, suggesting that even critical biographers, known for unstinting research, found it unsubstantiated. Evidence supporting the allegation appears to be largely anecdotal, hearsay, and circumstantial. There are no primary sources, such as police reports, medical records, or named witnesses to be found. Proponents rely on patterns in This One's Wife's life, sorority culture, and anonymous claims. The core evidence comes from unnamed sources. The Tumblr post in 2020 claimed first-hand knowledge from a sorority sister, alleging the glue swap during a beauty ritual hazing causing eye damage. Quora echoed this. Reddit comments suggested that other sorority girls posted about it early on social media, yet no links were actually provided. YouTube videos cited insider tips, but actually provided no verification. Proponents argue that the silence was as a consequence of NDAs. The victims probably signed NDAs when awarded damages. Hazing was prevalent in US sorority life in the early 2000s before stricter laws arrived. Proponents of the theory point to general incidents, like a 2014 University of Central Florida sorority suspension for forced drinking. At Northwestern, other sororities had issues. Alpha Kappa Alpha's 2017 hazing-linked suicide, KKG itself faced suspensions elsewhere, like Indiana University in 2021 for humiliating pledges. An ER doctor noted on Reddit that superglue eye incidents were common pranks in the 1990s, treatable with compresses, making it plausible. There was the suggestion that the hazing could occur covertly. Rumours claim Thomas Markle paid thousands or even millions to hush it up, including to the university and the victims. A YouTube video alleges he funded the NDAs to protect This One's Wife's degree. Proponents tie this to This One's Wife's ruthless image, citing her family estrangements, and a Daily Mail article on her ruthless side. Critics also link it to the bullying allegations, like Palace staff complaints in 2018, and the fact that she has a reputation for being a mean girl, therefore suggesting that whilst there might not be any direct evidence of it, it isn't too difficult to imagine that she could well have behaved this way, which of course is an extension of her narcissism. Real cases of superglue eye mishaps do exist, like a 2023 TikTok user fusing her eyes shut. Proponents argue that this indeed makes the prank feasible, with temporary blindness as a hazing tactic. Accordingly, no direct evidence has ever been provided. It's simply a rumour that has been replicated again and again and again. But has the rumour actually come from truth? Has it come from those that know what happened but feared speaking out because of NDAs? Has evidence once again been scrubbed by the internet, a common allegation that is thrown towards This One's Wife as part of cleaning up her image? Or is that just a convenient excuse to explain away the absence of information and direct evidence? As stated, no police, hospital or university reports from 1999 to 2003 mention such an incident taking place. Northwestern's hazing policy defines it as prohibited, with records of other cases, for example in 2022 fraternity druggings, but none during KKG during This One's Wife's time at the university. KKG's Northwestern chapter suspended operations in 2022 for unrelated reasons, but celebrated This One's Wife's 2018 wedding, which would be inconsistent with expelling her. No named victims have emerged whatsoever, despite opportunities in high-profile books or media. People have queried, why has no one sold the story to papers? This One's Wife graduated on time in 2003, with no expulsion noted. Her sorority involvement is documented positively in throwback photos and interviews. Quora confirms that KKG frowned on hazing, and this one's wife was an advocate for women's rights from youth, with some people suggesting that participation in a hazing incident would be unlikely. Of course, such a supporting allegation falls apart under scrutiny of her narcissism, as we know that she is a hypocrite. Thomas Markle, estranged but vocal, has denied such claims of the hazing incident in interview. There are inconsistencies in the rumour. Versions vary. 1 versus 2 victims. Temporary versus permanent blindness. Expulsion versus no consequences. Financial claims escalate from thousands to millions, which are implausible for Thomas Markle, a lighting director. Thomas Markle, one individual notes, wasn't wealthy enough to pay off a girl's family and the university. NDAs for minors, pledges, would be invalid, and signing dozens, sorority members, doctors, etc., is improbable. KKG's policy bans hazing with suspensions for violations elsewhere, for instance at Ohio State in 2015. Northwestern lists hazing deaths historically, but none matching this. Hazing is of course humiliating, but eye-gluing would be criminal assault, triggering investigations. Sources tend to come from anti-this-one's-wife outlets. Accordingly, the fact is that there is a degree of bias in relation to the suggestion that this took place. Overall, there's no direct evidence that this took place, and yet the allegation persists. Is this simply the fact that it's found its place in an echo chamber, bouncing back and forth, getting new life breathed into it from time to time? Or does it have genuine origins despite the omission of direct evidence? Well, I've set out either side in relation to this allegation and the various points to consider. You can now go and vote on the channel to provide your own view as to whether you think she did it, or whether she was involved in a group that did, even though she might have not had any direct involvement, whether it didn't happen at all and it's just simply a rumour. You can also in the comments section provide your observations upon this incident or alleged incident. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.